I am the leader. Yes. All right. Welcome to episode 6 of the Brolog podcast. I'm your
Thank
host,
you for having me.
Austin. Went with my real name this time. And
Yeah,
we have
spicing
Grant and
it up.
Caden here as always. Excited
Yes,
for
it's an honor for you to have us here.
It is. I'm so honored. So honored. I don't know if you guys saw, but we have 2 comments on our podcast now. So
No way.
yeah. So hopefully after this one we'll have even more. But
Like 3, 4 maybe.
Whoa.
yeah. Well, I did
Yeah,
respond to
take it
one
one
of
at
them,
a
so we
time.
do have 3.
Hold up.
Um,
Where did you even see that? Feel uneducated.
It's on the Spotify creator app thing I told you guys about. You remember?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Shows us
Yeah.
how many listens and stuff we've had to. It's pretty interesting. But yeah,
I'm
I want to.
curious.
Yeah, you guys should actually look at it because one of them was from Ken, which his name showed up as Ken. Shout out Ken, one of our number
My
one
man.
fans. And another one, it had a picture of Grandpa and Margene, but the name was like something in German. So I don't know if that's just how they have their Spotify or whatever.
It's their alias. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
look at the
he-
actual name.
it's a burner account.
Grandpa's burner
Yeah,
account. He's
it's-
actually on all big social media platforms, just trolling people.
Yeah, it's Der Vogel. Two words. DER
Fuck.
Vogel. So
Gesundheit.
they said these young kids are so cool and fun. I really loved listening to them. So thank
Ew,
you, Der
word.
Vogel.
Yeah.
Man, this is like middle
Everybody
school when on Valentine's Day they hand out flowers, and like you have to pay to like send
Mhm.
your middle school child a flower. So it's always
Yeah,
like a
the,
secret admirer kind of thing. And I got one every year, at least one, and I always said from your secret admirer, and every time it was mom. So yeah, she would try to hide it for a little
Yep,
bit,
was-
but then yeah, I figured it out.
What was that? What are those flowers called? I keep on wanting to say clementines, but I know that's not it.
Carnations.
It starts with carnations. Yes,
is it
Yeah.
not
mandarin?
clementines.
Oranges?
There was tangerines.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was one year that I got those when we were in like a study hall, and they delivered. There was just one year I got like 13, and so I had like a whole bundle of roses or carnations. And while sitting there, I was like, "Man, I am so popular, so funky fresh. Everyone loves me." And then I had to carry them around the rest of the day, and I felt like such a nerd carrying around like a bundle of roses all day. It's like, gosh, dang it, making me look weak in front of all my friends, and I'm not even. I was like 4'8", so
and usually more manly than
50
this.
pounds. Yeah,
Usually it's just 12 flowers.
yeah. You guys
That's
did
like, I
it.
Uncle Andy told me the story one time that I've always thought is so funny. He would tell me how they were doing a workout for basketball or something at they were doing like these things called I don't know, like pyramids or whatever. You start with like a heavy weight, you do as many as you can, and then you keep going down and down and down
Sorry.
until basically you just have the bar left, and it's just at the very end of the day. And so he's just like wiped. And he's like, and then the volleyball team walked in, and I'm like struggling with the bar. And he's like, I swear I'm usually stronger than this. It's like it's
Oh,
terrible
got, like,
timing.
People on both sides of the bar helping him get it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, man.
dang.
Those are the worst. Not to interject with another short middle school story, but to interject
Interject.
with another story. There was one
Short
day
middle school story,
where-
Caden. Are you still insecure about it?
you have your height, I have mine. It's okay, we're all created differently. No, there was one day at basketball practice, I was like on the verge of blacking out, and then I just was sick and went to throw up in the corner. And this was the one day that they switched the girls' basketball practice to the morning instead of afternoon, so they had to walk past me throwing up to go to like the other gym. And I just remember, some girls walking by, and they're like, "Hey, kid," and I was like, "Oh." And
wasn't
I
that
was
the
so-
Carnations kid?
no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say
was
that must have happened the day
horrifying.
before Carnations, and they all felt bad.
That's
Yeah.
why I married. That's why I married Tira, because she went to a different school. She couldn't. Yeah,
She has never seen you throw up. Yeah.
Yeah, not a single time. Yeah,
That's a great story. Thanks for sharing, Caden.
you're welcome.
Okay. So to start off today, thought it'd be fun. We had a Sunday school teacher back in Wichita, Kansas, when we lived there, who would always start off his lessons with the Mount Rushmore of blank. So he'd just have a random topic, and he'd just open it up to the floor and be like, all right, we're going to do Mount Rushmore of like movie stars or whatever. And then everyone would have to give their votes, and we don't have to agree on stuff. It's pretty fun. So this one, I thought we'd open with Mount Rushmore, try to get some more engagement. We've got 2 comments, but I thought we could get some more after this episode. So we're going to do Mount Rushmore. I'm going to share my screen so we can do Chat GPT topic. So anybody that's watching the video, and then we'll agree on one, and then we'll do it steak staff.
Steak snacks. Shake Shack.
Shake Shack style. Yeah. And so we'll do snake draft style. So like, you know how snake drafts work. So like we'll go Caden, Grant, Austin, Caden. Anyway, so we do 4. So we'll try to go kind of quick. And we'll pick one, and then we'll have the listeners vote. They'll leave a comment and see which Mount Rushmore they thought was the best one. Okay. So this is my GPT that I created for our podcast segment. So it knows that we're brothers and that we like sports and that we talk about silly stuff. So I just said, give me a segment idea of topics to do Mount Rushmore of. Okay. So here's some options. So if any one of these stand out, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to pick one random and get going. We got some basketball ones.
Random.
Yeah.
Hit me with a random one.
Okay. Let's go Mount Rushmore of irrational fears. How does that sound?
Oh, of irrational fears.
Or we can do different.
Wait, how are we to interpret this? Like if it's a top irrational fear, like it. Actually,
yeah. So we'll just
word that question.
I know what you're saying. It's like your favorite Mount irrational fear. Yeah. I guess it's just like you're just trying to pick the ones that are most applicable, like that most people would agree with. It's kind of like a Mount Rushmore, like Family Feud style.
Okay.
Nice, your favorite.
Nice. What is got it?
I've got my answer.
What are irrational fears? Okay. All right. Stop sharing my screen here. Okay. Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. My answer is the same for all of them. Perfect. I'm going to say, what is George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh my gosh. All right. That was good.
Idiot.
I don't even know if those are the right 4 people.
I wouldn't know either.
Let's see. Irrational fears. I would say fear of missing out. FOMO.
Okay. So Grant's number 1 is FOMO.
That's my FOMO, because that wasn't like even a thing until I feel like in college is when I first heard about it, or at least they just named it FOMO.
Yeah.
But people were surviving just fine long before FOMO became mainstream.
Long before people were missing out. Yeah. That's
exactly.
Good. Okay. I'll go next. I think the first one I thought of is getting your shoelace stuck in an escalator. I always have thought, because I remember Mom telling me a story like, oh, she knew someone who like their shoelace got caught and they like broke their ankle or something. So every time I'm on an escalator, I go barefoot, take my shoes off.
You wear your Skechers Velcro.
Yeah. Just let those puppies breathe. But yeah, I've always been afraid of that.
Dang.
I one time got nylon sweatpants I was wearing stuck in an escalator at a Mavs game, and Dad had to rip them out halfway up.
Oh, dude, scary, man.
So the fear is real.
The fear is real.
Seems rational to me.
Yeah. Okay, that's my number 1. Caden, so you go next, and then you get to go again for round 2.
Okay, I would say fear of getting like a tickle in your throat when you're trying to like keep it cool and cash. I feel like there's been several times like in school or pre-interview where you get a tickle in your throat and you just cannot get it out. Like you drink water, you're on the verge of like coughing out, hacking up a lung, you start sweating, you get red. But it's like the most inconvenient, awkward. Yeah. Dude, I'm so scared of this. Anytime I feel my throat tickle, I'm like, oh no.
That's so relatable, because I was about to make a comment in Sunday school today, but then I like felt a little thing in my chest come up. I was about to hawk up a loogie, and I was like, I can't make a comment. I can't start talking. It's just gonna be embarrassing.
I don't know what I said. Yeah. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Okay. All right, so you've took you to third. All right, number 2.
Yo, again, shout out to my wife.
Oh, you're scared of your wife?
Yeah. No, I was going to say fear of snakes.
Oh, I don't have a particular... You must be shaking in your boots.
Yeah. Very patriotic towards these giraffes. But she has a snake phobia. So
okay.
All right. It's your own Mount Rushmore, but I am not driving to South Dakota
I'm scared
to see
of her getting scared. It's pretty scary.
Okay, no, that's a pretty good one. All right. So I guess I go next. Okay, another irrational fear. This one I'm not afraid of anymore, but it was very irrational at the time. I've told Wesley and Luke the story about, it's a lesson on bravery, but I used to be afraid of electric pencil sharpeners in kindergarten and first grade. Like I was terrified to sharpen my pencil, so much so that I remember my first grade teacher getting mad at me like 4 months into the school year because my pencil was so dull. She's like, Austin, go sharpen your pencil. And I just like had this big whole dramatic thing. Is like, okay, I'm going to go sharpen my pencil. And I did it.
I'm going to do it.
And I survived, but it was terrifying for the longest time.
Dang.
So,
yeah, don't stick your finger in there.
Yeah, shout out Audrey.
That's true for a lot of things. Shout out Audrey.
There's a story there. Okay.
I'll go. I was going to say fear of skydiving because I think skydiving is friggin' awesome and most people are too afraid to do it. I'm gonna take a little bit deeper though. I'm gonna say fear of dying. That's irrational because we're all gonna die. Why are you wasting?
You got deep, Grant.
Grant, you're getting
precious
deep.
Moments.
Death.
Yeah. Austin's just got escalators and pencil sharpeners.
Okay, I gotta think bigger. Okay,
bigger is always better.
That's good. Okay, so Grant, next one. We got 2 more.
Are we doing the? I thought Mount Rushmore had 4 spots.
Yeah, 4 per person.
We're running
up 2.
Oh, I got 2 more.
Yeah, counting has never been a strong suit. He's a sweet kid, though.
All right.
Remember Jefferson, Lincoln, Washington, Obama.
Yes.
Before
Abraham Franklin. Yeah. All right. I'll go.
The light bulb.
Wasn't that Colonel Sanders? I gotcha. Stumped you.
Thinking of the chicken guy.
Like a fool.
Fear of Colonel Sanders. Yeah. Skydiving. I already said it. I'll take that one.
If you say Rocky Mountain climbing next, so help me.
Oh, it's good.
Irrational fears. I think, I work from home, so I'm around my family a lot. But the times that I am, I know, the times that I am by myself, I feel like I have an irrational fear of it's like a medical emergency happening to me while I'm by myself, like what if I choke on my food or something and I'm just sitting at home in my office with no one around? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So
if you would start chewing your sandwiches, you'd have it'd be a lot easier to not choke.
Go the anaconda approach.
Yeah.
For all your food.
I don't know why you keep dipping it in water. It's nasty.
Swallow all my Vienna sausages whole.
That is, I'm about to leave this call.
Oh, man.
All right, Caden.
All right.
2 more, or back to back.
All right. When you're in a public restroom and the automatic flush just is going crazy, so the people who are walking in and out or in the stall next to you just hear it flush over and over, and you're just sitting there, just hanging out. It's always really scary, especially because if it's a good toilet, it'll splash up a little and get you a little moist. So
that is pretty rational.
Yeah.
Emphasis on a rash.
And then,
gross.
All right, last one. This one, again, I've overcome this. It hasn't happened in many years, thank goodness. But in elementary school, definitely had the fear of accidentally calling my teacher mom. And it definitely happened once or twice.
Good one. Strong answer.
Yeah.
Mommy.
You can't act like it didn't happen after it did.
Mommy, I need help, please. Okay, that's a good one. Accidentally calling teacher mom. That's good. Okay. So yeah, that was 4. Okay, last irrational fear is I feel like
right.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
Wow.
Pretty scary if you want to think about it.
Pretty scary. Ask your mom.
No, this is a work one. I've done this before on accident. Luckily, it was just internally. But back in the day, I used to be on Twitter a lot, scrolling Twitter, and I'd be on a work call, and I would go to share my screen, and I accidentally share my Twitter screen instead of my actual screen. And so that pops up for 2 seconds. That's pretty embarrassing.
Or like it'll it's like someone sees your most recent Google search and it's like embarrassing. Like, what is a toothbrush or something?
Yeah. Oh, so I've always been nervous about doing that, but yeah. Sharing wrong screen. It's very scary.
That has the same energy of like when a waiter gives you food and they're like, enjoy your food, and you're like, you too, and you're like, take it. Like it wasn't supposed to happen.
So we're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Brain doesn't work fast enough in social situations.
Yeah.
All right, Grant, take us home.
Everyday thing for me. All right. Last but not least, when I was maybe 11 or 12 years old, there was this kid who went to my church. I will not name his name, but he used to corn dog me. Do you remember what getting corn dogged is?
Oh my gosh.
Like somebody
what does that even mean?
It means you get kneed in the freaking tailbone and it hurts like a mother trucker. And
what a terrible name for that.
Yeah, I don't understand why it was corn dog, but he would just sneak attack me and like not hold back. So I had probably a bruised tailbone for most of my.
I still can't eat corn dogs to this day.
No way, man. No way.
No way.
Classic Wesley. So yeah, still kind of afraid of that. Tailbone is still healing.
Yeah.
All right. That was good list. Okay, so just to recap. So Grant, I wrote them all down. You had FOMO, death, skydiving,
so irrational,
getting corn dogged. Okay. I had getting shoelace stuck in the escalator, electric pencil sharpeners, having a medical emergency by yourself, and accidentally sharing the wrong screen. And then Caden, you had getting a tickle in your throat, snacks. That's not right. Oh, snakes. I can't.
Because we are supermates. That doesn't. Because
okay. Sorry.
Yeah. How do you feel when I say Cheetos?
Okay. Snakes. I said flushing toilet around people.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
And then accidentally calling your teacher mommy.
Not mommy, just mom.
We've all been there.
Mommy would be tough too. Okay, so for all the listeners, leave your comment. Who did best? Who's the most irrationally feared? And we'll review next week if we got any comments. And if not, I'll make something up.
Perfect.
Okay. Well done. All right, and we're back. Grant just finished another corn dog. And he is ready to go.
Corn dogged.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, it's another week. Gonna have another great pod. All right, so let's go into some weekly updates. Who wants to start us off?
I'll go first, just because I have very little to report on, so to leave more time for you guys. Nothing super exciting outside of school and work.
Thanks,
this
Caden.
week.
All right.
And all right, great.
I have nothing to report on this week. Yep, nothing. That's it. All right, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. Just schoolwork. We had a volleyball game. We went undefeated in the regular season, which volleyball won.
Now in Germany.
Yeah. Now if you don't have it.
Volleyball.
Which, for those who don't know what it is, you should look it up. A lot of fun. It's just volleyball. It's volleyball in a racquetball. I think most people
know what volleyball is,
Caden.
With
a different Austin. You're
just patronizing our listeners.
No, Austin. Volleyball in a racquetball room with a different ball. You can hit it off the walls. It's like volleyball. Austin clearly doesn't understand, but it's if anything, you can look at it.
No comprendo.
Other than that, I went to the par 3 course yesterday with a couple of friends. That was super fun to get out. It was a super nice day. Got up to almost 60. And I had probably the hottest start I've ever had on a very low skill level par 3 course. I started with 2 pars and a birdie.
And then that's a 1 under for all the folks counting at home.
Yeah. And then I got an 8 on the next hole. So it was all downhill from there. But I started super strong and it was super fun.
That's fun, man.
Attaboy.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Also, I ate Sam's Club 2 different times this week. Sam's Club was really good. I had a blue raspberry icy. Hadn't had an icy in a long time, but hit the spot. Didn't corn dog the spot, just hit the spot gently. But
I love a good iced tea.
Pretty much all I have to report. Just got to golf some and schoolwork and play volleyball in a racquetball room and called it volleyball.
Heck yeah. And made some great financial decisions at the Sam's Club Cafe.
Yeah. Save money, live better.
Food court, if you will.
Sonic, yeah.
Did you know, not to one-up Sam's Club, just eat it. Yep. Is
Nike's opening up a food court.
just eat it. It's kind of bossy.
Yeah, none of the food is very good.
Okay. What about Costco, Austin? Go ahead.
Yeah, Costco, I think it's a temporary thing or seasonal thing, but they've got a new like mint shamrock shake thing, like the ones that McDonald's does, but they've got their own version of it. So we tried one earlier this week, and
yeah.
Not a huge mint chocolate fan most of the time, but this one was decent.
It was not bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad.
I did see that. I've been wanting to try it. I guess we're going into March, so that makes sense. Kind of fits the whole March theme.
March Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the basketball.
Yeah. Exactly.
For sure.
All right. I'll go next. You go next?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to share my entertainment of the week. Let me find my spot here on my notes. Just not even paying attention. So the big highlight for this week is, I guess there's like a BYU alumni Massachusetts chapter. I didn't know about it, but they hosted a I was about to say viewing. It was not a viewing. It was a a watch party. Yeah, nobody died. It was a watch party for the BYU versus West Virginia basketball game yesterday.
Tough.
And tough. Yeah, I didn't actually watch any of it, but we did go to like the tailgate right before, and it was super fun. Like, I don't know, we kind of feel like we haven't met too many people here in this area that are that are members of the church and outside of our ward at least, and certainly not a lot of people our age. But we went to this event and met a lot of really nice people. They had a lot of free swag, which we always love. Super tasty dinner. We got a bunch of like future cougar stuff for Lily, since she's probably going to end up like dating a bunch of younger men. And also attend BYU.
I get it.
Oh,
not that kind of cougar.
I was like, wait a second.
Man. I have a problem when I joke around sometimes. It's really hard to know if I'm joking or not. I think it's an advantage. Anyway, yeah, super fun. We had to leave right before the game actually started though, so we didn't actually watch the game. Amanda had to go to work, but fun to get out of the house. Especially we had like a blizzard this week, so a couple feet of snow. We've been feeling cooped up inside most of the time, so getting out and doing something, touching grass, as the kids say, it was nice.
Touching snow. Grass under the snow. Could you touch the grass under the snow? Was there too much snow to touch grass?
Oh, no, I could.
Great question.
Yeah, I got to it.
Yeah, your little your snow shoveling neighbor. You're like, could you do this spot real quick? I gotta touch grass.
Let me touch that grass real quick.
Scoop it up.
Can I pet that
snow out of there? Yeah.
Yeah. Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? That's fun, dude.
Here, I hear a baby crying, so I'm gonna hop off for a second.
Yep, you're good.
Do you think it's Lily, or do you think it's a different?
She probably didn't appreciate the cougar comment, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'd be pretty offended too.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just to make a note here real quick. Should I do my weekly update? Should we wait? Should we filibuster? We filibuster?
Wait, you were feeling Buster? That is super weird. We can wait. Sounds like it might be a minute, because I know he said Amanda won't be up for another like 20 minutes. So she worked last night.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, cool. I didn't think I'd be left alone with you.
Yeah, I
wasn't prepared for this.
I don't like being alone with you. That's one of Tara and I's favorite jokes. Is anytime we're trying to plan anything, we'll be like, actually, I don't really like being alone with you, especially in public, and I don't really like you. And yeah, it's funny.
That's funny.
No, this Friday on Kendall's birthday is the Sunrise Pickleball tournament.
Oh, let's
and
go.
a lunch
Nice.
at Cubby's with Martha and maybe Carly, I think.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Is that that's like for everybody, right? Not just new hires, the pickleball thing?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm
That's
really
fun.
interested to see what the vibe is. I feel like since it's Utah, I'm imagining that most people are going to be like, yeah, pretty chill, but there's going to be a couple of guys that are taking it extremely seriously.
Oh, totally.
So, yeah, it should be.
You being one of them?
Yeah, of course. I have my headband and everything ready.
Mm-hmm.
What I miss?
Not much. Welcome back. Way to be a good dad. Proud of you, brother.
Thank you. I heard some
crying.
Yeah.
And usually it's me, but this time it was the baby. And she had climbed up on the piano bench and was trying to play the piano, and the piano book fell on top of her.
Oh gosh.
And she felt like she couldn't move her hands from the piano keys to get the piano book off. So she felt stuck. I had to go rescue her and play some Claire de Lune before I came back up.
Let me just teach you, Fer de Lis real quick, and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
That's good. Dude, she's almost 2. That's crazy, man. It's like
You're
2 months away.
You're telling me. I keep thinking in my mind that she's still 18 months, but it just dawned on me that she's 21 months, and that's a whole lot closer. She can legally drink now. So, yeah, chocolate milk. So.
Oh man, quite an upgrade. Yeah.
Nice.
Wild.
All right. Any more? I noted where we need to take the break, by the way, so I think we're good. Any more updates, Grant, from your week?
No, that's all I got. I do have a question for you, Austin, as we go into your update. I am sure you guys watched that video that Uncle Kevin sent us, where this was back at Grandma and Grandpa's old house, but essentially in the video, it's Audrey, Caden, and I are all dog piled on top of you, Austin, and we're trying to wrestle you to the ground. Or maybe your only goal is to just like throw all of us off. But it was super funny to watch, brought back some good memories. My question for you is, and I think it should be obvious, do you think that you could take all 3 of us in a fight now? And how quickly do you think you tap out?
Grant, I could drop you guys like a bag of dirt.
Why are you putting your dirt in a bag, man?
I could drop because it's heavy and I'll drop it, but I'd drop you like that bag.
I don't think so.
You, Caden, and Audrey?
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no way. Maybe Caden and Audrey solo. I feel like I could take them.
Please, Austin, I'm scrappy.
I was going to say Caden seems scrappy.
He's got the craziest grip strength.
Yeah.
I feel like Audrey could have some like hidden rage in her that comes out if I like push the
Press
wrong
right
buttons.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to fight Audrey. It's a losing battle.
No. But I feel I could definitely fight you guys off for a little while. That's like those dumb questions where it's like, would you rather fight like, one gorilla or like a room of 100 like 5th graders or something? You ever heard those questions? Is that just
Are you often fighting 5th graders? Or?
Yeah, I know. It's a dumb scenario. Like I'd win in both scenarios, but no, it's just sheer number.
Yeah, I have heard that a lot. I have also, I've never heard people ask, would you rather be smarter than a 5th grader or smarter than a gorilla? Because that one is easy.
Or 500 gorillas.
Neither. Yeah.
No, it's funny. But yeah, I can take you guys.
That reminds me of a question. Tira used to always ask this question when we would meet like new couples just to get a vibe for like who they were. And she supposedly got a lot out of it. I always just thought it was fun. But she would ask them if there were a constant stream of 7th graders coming to you, you're in the corner of a basement, and you had to fight them off. How many would you knock out before you would tap out? And it's a constant stream. You have to like knock out or get one out of the way before the next one comes. But they keep coming.
That's definitely an irrational fear. That'd make me Mount Rushmore.
That's a terrifying just visual, just being alone in the dark basement.
Yeah.
7th graders.
She said she did this on her mission with one of our districts, and there was like a super quiet
7th graders.
Yeah, dude. What did you guys do on your mission?
No. Oh my gosh.
She asked this question to the other sisters and elders in her district, and there's one elder that she said she like literally had never heard speak before. Like he was super quiet and reserved. And
the quiet
he
ones.
answered and said like 100, but only if he could like use one of the other kids' unconscious body as a battering ram.
I don't like that.
Yeah, she was like,
Are we talking? Yeah,
she never cared to talk to him again. She's like, no wonder you're so quiet. Let's keep it that way.
Let's keep it that way.
Sounds like he was recalling something that has already happened in his life.
Yeah.
That's spooky stuff.
Seems like he'd be the one.
Corn
dog and
we can
go
like to Austin's week.
What a menace.
Good segue.
Great
segue. Yeah. Speaking of using unconscious kids, it's battering ram. My week was great. That was good. Finished up soccer practices. We still have one more makeup game, but finished up our soccer practices. We had 2 kids out of the 8 at our last practice. So I was like, I'm just going to cancel our Thursday one. Yeah, me and Wesley, then some other kids showed up. But yeah, we had our last game. And then honestly, so we played the same team we played first. The first game we lost like 12-1. No, 12-0. But yesterday we only lost like 5-1. So we definitely made progress throughout the year.
Yeah,
big improvement. So proud of my Chiefs. It was fun. That was fun. And then I finished my taxes this week, so
okay,
exciting.
Yep.
Okay,
not even April 15th, guys. That's how on top of it I am.
Yeah.
And also probably one of the coolest things is we were driving out to Costco and get haircuts for the boys over at Hawaii Kai. If you guys remember where that is, that really pretty drive along the coast. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we saw a whale on our drive. We were driving around the corner. Yeah, like right by the lighthouse hike, like kind of right before on that big curve, if you guys remember. Anyways, we look in the water and there's this big giant like fin tail fin just like going poof. We saw it do like 3 times in like the minute we were driving by. It was crazy. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I can't believe we live in a place that we can see whales on the way to a haircut. It's like, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Had you seen one before?
I'd seen one before, like in a very similar spot, actually, a couple months ago. But yeah, before that, I hadn't seen one. But yeah, now we know where they like to hang out. So,
dang.
Do you know what kind of whales are over in that region?
I think we got humpbacks. Got some humpbacks over here. Yeah, the humpback of Notre Dame. Yeah, the Quasimodos.
Nice.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think on the west side, every now and again very rarely get some orcas, which is that a whale or it's more of a whale than a shark killer whale. Yeah, it's a whale.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty rare. I think mostly it's like humpbacks and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's super
we
cool.
We were stoked. Wesley was sleeping in the back, and so we were trying to get him awake. We're like, there's whales. And he just like slept through the whole thing. There's whales. And so yeah, we told him after, he was kind of bummed. He's like, you should have woken me up. I was like, we were trying. We screamed so loud. But yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, it's probably the highlight of my week. Besides just yesterday was good. It was a big Dadder Day thing. We have 2 cars now, right? So I took the boys to thank you. Finally got to use it to the full potential. So the Haley and Savannah did a little beach date, and she stayed back and did her nap time and stuff. And I took the boys after soccer to Wet and Wild, a little theme park out here. So it was fun. We got wet and wild, let me tell you.
Sure hope so.
Oh my gosh.
And so yeah, it was fun. Been a fun weekend. So
is that like a splash pad kind of thing, or are we talking full blown water park?
It's a full blown water park, brother. Yeah, they've got
that's so
slides.
Cool.
We've got lots of fun stuff. We used or we've got season passes this year, so we're using it up when we can. It's fun.
Heck yeah, dude.
Are most of the slides like the inner tube slides, or
they've got a mix? They've got like the one where you have the mat that you like dive down in the tube, like the big racing ones. So that one's Wesley's favorite.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those are super fun. Luke's not quite tall enough to do them yet. He's like an inch too short for those. But Wesley, we just measured him yesterday. He's at that 48-inch height, so he's like tall enough for all the water slides now, which is pretty crazy.
Dang.
But obviously couldn't just ditch Luke at the bottom and be like, wait for us here. We'll be back in half an hour. But
you go over to the bar, make some friends.
Yeah, exactly. A lady here named Candace, she'll take care of you.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it was fun. It was when I saw he was tall enough, I was like, it was reminding me when Michelle, our aunt, took us to Six Flags when I was like just at that 48-inch height too. So like I was just barely tall enough, but still weighed like 20 pounds. And we went on the Titan at Six Flags, which is like the craziest ride ever. And so she said that she was super scared because like my whole body was off the like seat. There was like so much space in between me and the bar. And so, yeah, I was just like, I feel like there's got to be like a weight thing too. Like you can be tall enough, but if you're, if there's like a whole nother space for another body in between you and the bar, like maybe still don't do these rides. But
you have to weigh more than a can of Pringles, at least.
Yeah, exactly. The wind can't tip you over.
Yeah. But no, it's good. Good week overall.
I love it.
All right. So now let's get into the meat of this week's pod. So I'll kind of preface it a little bit. So I recently read a book that I had heard about.
Man. That's awesome.
Oh wait, no, I forgot about entertainment of the week. Are we doing it? Sorry, are we doing entertainment of the week?
Were you not entertained this week?
I got a couple things. I realized I missed that. Okay, sorry, do that first.
We can be kind of quick. We can just rattle them off.
Okay.
All right, I'll go.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, Grant, after you.
I thought you said
That's a big. Yeah, I'll go first. I think I actually shared this music with you guys in a group text, and no one actually commented if they liked it or not. That's okay. I know I'm still the favorite sibling.
All right, I don't have your number saved, so.
Yeah, you weren't in that group chat, so one of the real ones. Yeah, so I'm still trying to add to I call it my worship playlist. I'm trying to find some more wholesome songs that talk about God, praise the Lord and whatnot. And so I found a couple more that I like. One of them is by this guy. He's actually a 14-year-old kid. His name is Tate Butts. That's his real name. Have some respect, Caden. Have some respect. He sings a song called My Defender. It's really, really good. So highly recommend you check that one out. There's this other group. They're called Riders. And I think it's just like alternative rock that also sounds kind of disco-y to me.
Wait, is Austin frozen? I thought he was just making the same face, but...
Oh, yeah. I thought he was just an incredible listener.
I know. Like, feel disrespectful for reacting to your thing, but I think
he might be frozen.
We'll keep going if hopefully you can hear us.
Show must go on. The group is called The Riders. A few of the songs I really like are called Forever and Ever. One is called Without You. The other one's called Glued to You. Super good. The last thing I'll say is there's a song by Kanye West that's called God Is, and it's actually kind of a banger. And so I've been singing it out loud quite a bit this week. And then at dinner the other day, I caught Lily singing it. And I'm like, oh, Lily's singing Kanye West now. I don't know how we got here, but so yeah, good music. Lots of good music this week. I watched a couple of like really terrible movies that just felt like a waste of time. So I was not thrilled with the movie selection, but then last night or a couple nights ago, Amanda and I watched a movie called Wonder. Really, really good movie. Maybe y'all have seen it. It came out in 2017, but it's basically about this kid with a facial deformity and going to school for the first time. It's got Owen Wilson in it. And wow. Super cute movie. Definitely a feel good.
I remember seeing a trailer for that. I never saw it. Felt like I hit a little too close to home,
That's okay, man. You're so brave.
Yeah, the movie was based off of your life.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, cool. I can go next.
I'll go last is what I was going to say.
Yeah, perfect. Glad to be. Yeah. Bruno Mars came out with a new album, and I can't remember the last time he came out with any new music. I don't follow really any artists that closely, but yeah, he came out with a new album, and some of the songs were really good. So, some of the songs. That's okay. That's a very rational fear. So that's why I didn't list that one, the voice cracking. No, I liked the song Risk It All from his new album.
I did too.
Yeah. Sorry, when I first heard it, I think that was one of the first ones I listened to. I don't know if it's the first one on the album.
It is the first one on the album.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I'd accidentally clicked my my Mexican playlist when I first started
Spanish vibes.
Yeah. but I think for that reason, I liked it that much more. So yeah, that's Risk It All by Bruno Mars was my entertainment of the week.
Nice, dude.
No, thank
you.
All
right. I like how we all kind of like find what I never do music is what I was gonna say. I feel like I don't find new music very often, so I rely on you guys to be entertained musically.
Oh, speaking of which, I found a song recently that has whistling in it, and I know you love a good whistle song, so I'll have to
I do love a good whistle.
Yeah.
So my entertainment of the week is I'll do two real quick. One is a show called Extraction, which have you guys heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
So it's similar vibes to Alone, which I know some of our listeners love, and except there's people in the wilderness trying to survive, but then they have two family members in like a headquarters that have this big like extract button that they have control over. So they basically decide when to extract the person in the wilderness. So it's really interesting. Yeah, it's like they have the power. So like if the person is like, extract me, please. Like I'm so cold, so tired. And they're like, I don't want to extract you yet. Like I want the money. Like they could just not extract him and they have to like keep trying to survive. So
interesting.
What in the world?
It's interesting concept. So
is it the same guidelines of like they get like regular medical checkups or something? So if they
I would
actually
assume
do need to be
so.
extracted?
Yeah, just like legally. But yeah, so they get it's kind of like the people at the headquarters, they do like different challenges and things to like get them supplies and whatever. But yeah, it's kind of funny. It's an interesting idea. So that's what we've been watching.
What's it on?
Hulu. So we watch it on Disney Plus.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They just got season 2 is the one that's available, but watch that one. And then the other one that we watched recently was a documentary called The Other Shore. It's about a lady who's like 60 something who swims from Cuba to Florida Keys. So it's like 103-mile swim.
Gosh.
So the documentary like walks through like her different attempts and like it's crazy. I won't spoil it, but let's just say she died. Just kidding, she didn't die.
Do you know
She's
what spoiler means?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that one is pretty wild.
Wow.
But
wouldn't that swim have like saltwater crocodiles towards the end and some alligators and
sharks and jellyfish and lots of other stuff? Yeah. Because she has to swim it straight. So it took like, I forget the number of hours. I think like 60 hours or something. So like she's not sleeping, not whatever. Like obviously she has like a whole support team like on a boat and like in kayaks near her to like give her what she needs and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, that one's really, really interesting. And yeah, so that was our entertainment of the week. Might have even been 2 weeks ago, but anyways, that was interesting. So, all right, any more entertainment you guys want to share with the audience, or are we good to continue?
I'm good. I'm so shocked about what you said. 103-mile swim. I was trying to hold the wall sit this week for 90 seconds. Just about died.
I know, it kind of puts things in perspective. Like, man, I am a wimp.
I got to start fighting some ocean currents or something.
Swimming between islands or whatever. Okay. So yeah, we will move on to the last topic. So I read a book recently. I guess a little bit more context. So I don't know of any listeners outside of our family that listen to this, but in the chance that there are listeners not in our family that don't know us personally, I don't know that we fully talk about it. So we are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We've all served missions. It's been a big part of our life for our whole life. And so, that's kind of some background context of this. But I recently read a book called The Crucible of Doubt, which I heard about from Mr. Gonbot, Joseph Gonbot, on a podcast. And anyways, it's super good. It's kind of written through the lens of members of the church, but it can be applicable really to anybody of faith or that has any religion is a big part of their life or any faith. So there's a quote that I shared with you guys, and you guys were open and willing to kind of talk about it, which I appreciate. I know we kind of do a lot of silly stuff on this podcast, but sometimes, I think it's good to talk about real things. So one more caveat is, I can only speak for myself. These are only our experiences. We're not, obviously the end all be all. We don't know enough or a lot, but just think it's an interesting thing to think about. So I'm going to read the quote real quick. It's kind of long, but I think it'll just be helpful. So I'll be quick, and that'll be the backdrop of this conversation. Okay. So she says, just as we are a part of the Mormon culture, we lament if we allow ourselves to be co-opted by practices or attitudes we deplore, then we share in the collective guilt. The pressure to conform to what we see as a dominant cultural orthodoxy is often more imagined than real. The silent majority may be more receptive than we realize to our own yearnings for greater authenticity, honesty, originality, and individualism. Brigham Young was, he said, I am not a stereotyped Latter-day Saint. He said, and do not believe in the doctrine. Away with stereotyped Mormons. Such pressures to fit in, to keep silent in the face of dominant perspectives and attitudes and understandings can seem a daunting specter. This is especially true in the case of those harboring doubts or uncertainties, feeling marginalized by Mormonism's pervasive rhetoric of certainty. Yet some have ventured to test the perceived cultural norms and found the experiment rewarding. One young woman who felt marginalized by the certainty and expressions of conviction in every testimony meeting decided on one fast Sunday to speak out from her silent self-imposed exile. This is her testimony. She wrote, this last fast Sunday before the service began, my bishop came and sat next to me for a moment to share some of his concerns about my spiritual well-being. So I sat there during sacrament and reflected on what had just happened. I realized that I had never given my bishop the opportunity to get to know me or understand my frame of mind. I had been guarded and aloof in every interaction I've ever had with him. I've never told anyone in my ward anything about my thoughts and feelings. I've kept myself a safe distance from personal interaction because I've been afraid of the judgment and marginalization that might occur should they discover my true feelings about things. I know knew that things had to change if I'm to find a way to be a happy part of this church. I need to be honest with myself and others in a way that is positive for everyone involved. I need to live by faith in God and not by fear of men. So I decided to bear my testimony, or more accurately, my non-testimony. I said that as a child, I feared that there was no God, that I pushed that down and that it had persisted always in those deepest places of fear. I spoke of my constant devotion to Christ and God during my adolescence. Despite the fear, it wasn't until my mission that I experienced my first real question about the historical narrative we tell. And I told of how I always spoke of the language of I know, believing that that language made things right. I then said that after I married, I encountered the fear again and decided to face it and look at it from all sides. So I began to ask all the questions in my mind and study and search them out. For 10 years, I've slowly waded through the doubts and questions of my intellect. In the end, I've come to one simple truth. We choose. We choose what we will believe and what we live by. We choose how we will behave and what we will hope for. I then bore testimony that I know that when I follow Christ's teachings, I have a better marriage. I know that when I serve and love others, I'm a happier person. I know that when I focus on love, I form lasting, deep relationships with others. I know that when I read scriptures in the morning with my daughter, she and I are happier together and more peaceful in our relationship. I do not know that the church is true. I don't know that there is a God, but I hope there is. I hope that the feelings of love and comfort and inspiration that would indicate that there is a loving God are not just brain chemicals in biology or psychology, but that they are evidence of Him. I hope that when we die, we go home to loving heavenly parents. And then I closed. Okay, I'll just read this last part. Sorry, I know this is long, but I think it's helpful. I said this with all with my bishop and stake president sitting behind me and all my ward listening, and it felt wonderful. The days since have been filled with response enough. People have been concerned and kind and loving. They don't fully understand the language I used or the story I told, and they're coming from a place of reclamation, but they've been loving, and love is something that will build the bridge between us. So I'm content, but more importantly, I feel free. This member exemplified the counsel of Elder Jeffrey Holland. I'm not asking you to pretend to faith you do not have. I'm asking you to be true to the faith you do have. It is important to recognize as well that hostility shown towards our doubts is often a sign of fear rather than intolerance. Those who express uncertainties can elicit discomfort from those experiencing their own secret struggles, and confusion from those who do not struggle in the same way. Certainly, it's in the nature of institutions to homogenize disparities, to stifle individualism, but the creator God of Genesis is a being who revels in distinctions, difference, and variation.
Amen.
Okay, so that was very long, but yeah, I remember I've gone through this book twice now because she talks in a British accent, so it's hard to understand. But also it's just like very deep and philosophical, and I just like it's so much to digest. But when I first heard this quote, I shared it with Haley, and like I just put on like my dictate thing on OneNote so she could just like like I could capture the whole thing because it's an audiobook. It's just I thought it was so good, and like I I very much related to a lot of the things she was saying. And so I thought I'd kind of present that to you guys just to get some thoughts about what you thought of it. And I sent some like kind of general themes, not only from this quote, but from the book, that could maybe form this conversation, decide where we go a little bit. But some of those were the idea of culture versus the gospel. I think that's big. I'm sure that's big in every faith, but I feel like especially within LDS cult or the LDS world, I feel like that's a big thing. And then the pressure to conform is often exaggerated, and authenticity is more welcome than you think. And then number 3, anti-stereotype discipleship. And then 4, how doubt and uncertainty don't have to exile you, and how to stay engaged in the gospel and build faith without faking certainty. So I'll kind of open it up to you guys, and just any thoughts you had as you read it this week or kind of thought about it, what your experiences have been, and if you're related to any part of that at all.
Yeah. Awesome
Yes.
quote. Really love a lot of what this sister is saying. One of the things that she said that stood out to me, I'll just repeat it. She said, such pressures to fit in, to keep silent in the face of dominant perspectives and attitudes and understandings can seem a daunting specter. This is especially true in the case of those harboring doubts or uncertainties who feel marginalized by Mormonism's pervasive rhetoric of certainty. So, I resonated a lot with that in particular. I think from my vantage point, I've been incredibly fortunate to, as we say, have been born in the church, which means, both mom and dad were members of the church, and most of our extended family are very devout members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we were taught a lot of really amazing Christian beliefs, such as the gospel of Jesus Christ and just having a belief in God. I'm very grateful for that. On top of that, as you mentioned, I served a mission for the church. So I spent 2 years of my life in a foreign land, trying to bring others to the same knowledge and same conviction in Christ that I have. In spite of all of that, I definitely feel like at times I'm a bit of a serial, skeptic, because when I hear people at church use certain language such as "I know" or any other thing denoting absolute certainty, I just don't love it for myself because of the meaning of the language, the semantics that I think about. Because in spite of like my upbringing, I'm just at the point where I can't say for 100% certainty that God is real or that the church is true or all these things that we so often hear. And that doesn't mean I don't believe them or, believe them strongly, but I've not stood before God face to face and can tell you, with absolute certainty of those things. So that's a struggle that I've definitely had when there is a culture of speaking with certainty about various topics, when really a lot of us, I would argue, more people than you'd imagine, don't have that certainty. It's more of a hope, or it's more of a like, or you wish you could hope, is like a desire for it to be true. So, just to kind of round out my thought there is I've actually, I'll get a little bit vulnerable. I've actually, in my marriage, the last 5 years, have had to step away from going to church for a few weeks just because I've come to this crossroads where I've always understood, the gospel is a choice. You have to choose it all the time. It's not just you decide once to believe in God. We don't believe necessarily that you can say, I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior and I'm saved. We don't really, that's not the way that we perceive it, but part of enduring to the end is choosing Christ repeatedly. So when I feel like there's all this certainty and I don't have that for myself, I've had a couple moments in my marriage where, Amanda goes to church on her own because I'm really trying to dig deep to know where I'm at. And I wouldn't say that I'm in a funk or anything. I would just say it's part of my spiritual growth and part of my coming unto God. And so that's why it really resonated with me, is because I feel like I've been in this sister's shoes where all I can say is that I hope I hope that when I die, I go back to heavenly parents who know me and who have been, who've had my back during this whole mortal experience. But, I have one other thought that I'll share, but I know I've said a lot, so I definitely want to hear kind of what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you being honest. That's what this is for. Like I feel like me personally, I don't have these types of conversations very often. Like obviously, like Haley and I talk about this a lot, but it's like not something it's not a muscle that's very flexed very often, I guess, at least for me personally, which I think is a shame and is something that I'm trying to work through. Cause, like, one thing that you said that I also resonate with her, is just like, it can, and obviously when people are saying like, oh, I know the church is true. Like, I mean, I had said that all growing up, like I said on my mission, like I say it in my testimonies even now, but like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know for sure. Like I hope like I have a lot of evidences that it would be true. But yeah, I don't know for sure. And so I can, at different points in my faith journey as well, like I felt like, man, like, okay, if they are so certain, like they know, they feel pretty confident, like, what's up with me? Like, if I'm not having those same convictions, like, is it something I'm doing wrong? Is it something that like maybe just they're missing? Is it like, is it just like, where's the disconnect here? And so I feel like, this book, especially, like, you guys should read it. It's so good. It's very philosophical. Like it's a lot to digest. But one thing that they talk about, which I think is so important, and that I hope to teach my kids, our kids as they grow up, is like having doubts or like wrestling with things. Like that is okay. Like
it's a good
the
sign.
church, yeah, it's a good sign. Like the church or any church or any faith, like does not have all the answers. There's no such thing as like clean, tidy answers for everything. I think having grown up in the church, and this is not, anybody's fault. Like this is kind of just how I ended up interpreting a lot of things where, doctrine or things just seemed like so black and white. Like this is either completely right or completely wrong.
Yeah.
Where, when those doubts come in and that kind of like those cracks start to form, you're like, well, shoot. Okay. Well, if it's not all fully true, like if there's, you go back and whatever, find some part of church history where you like kind of makes you question, or like even things that, the church just stands on now. Like if you have struggles with, it's just, to me, I feel like what's helped me is like, it doesn't have to be completely black and white. It's not like 100% all in, 100% not, at least for me personally. Like I know there's some people, I feel like even within our family that, and I'm, I could just be guessing, but I just feel like they just have no problem believing. Like they can believe in things, like no, like hardly any doubts. Like it's just not even a question. Like, oh yeah, like they said that, like that's true. I believe it. Like no questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, maybe I don't have that spiritual gift of being able to like fully have that unquavering faith, but like there are things that I really struggle with, and it's hard. I think sometimes having grown up in the church, having it, our whole family, extended family, which is great, like great example, but at the same time, it's like, man, like surely I'm not the only one. Like surely other people are having questions that I think it'd be good to like be able to, talk about and be like, hey, like this thing is actually really hard for me. I don't know that I believe it, kind of a thing. And like other stuff like, hey, this portion of the gospel, I hope kind of like is true. Like I don't understand. Like I don't know how God hears our prayers. I will never understand that. Like I always pictured like this big control room. Like he's just up there like with this like incoming queue, be like, okay, Grant wants this. Like I'll get to that tomorrow, kind of a thing. But like, yeah.
Like, wait a second, who's Grant? Who is that guy?
Yeah, like, oh, I forgot about that guy. But yeah, there's just like things where just like I don't have to understand them, but yeah, just like making that choice, like, okay, I am going to choose to continue on this path because of, it brings me these things in my life. I see the benefits of it. I see the miracles, the tender mercies. Like I see those things that it brings, where I'm not saying I couldn't get those things if I went a different path, but I think it's helpful to know like doubts are okay. I just, I feel like over the past few years, especially, I've really wanted to have a more like mature, like model of faith, as opposed to just kind of, honestly, like kind of a weak, brittle faith, that I had all growing up, just because it was all I knew. I didn't really question it. Like, and I heard the primary answers and like, all right, like that's the way it is. Like, can't believe I was lucky enough to like just be born into it, not have to think about it. Like, this is awesome. Like, they're just feeding me all the answers. Whereas like, I don't think it's not sustainable, and it's very surface level. And I don't, at least, from in my experience, has not been what has been most helpful to me. So sorry, I know I talked a lot too. So Caden, you feel free to.
Can I make one comment on that first, Caden? Sorry, it's just quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
To your last point there, it's funny because I had so many converts, people who joined the church later on in life, especially as adults. I'd hear their testimonies and see their conviction, and I'd be like,
I wish I was a convert.
Like, I wish I was a convert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I wish I didn't have all the answers to the test early on in life, and to never really have to think deeply about it, or to like see the before and after, when you absolutely can. And no, I don't think it's necessary for you to fall away from the church to be reconverted and have those experiences. I feel like I, in a sense, have done that. Not the path that I really would have chosen for myself, but like, you can absolutely be a convert every single day, because like this woman says, it is a choice. You do choose what to believe and how to act. And I'll speak more to that, but certainly I want to hear what Caden has to say.
We keep saying that, but we keep interrupting.
Yeah. Do you guys want to? No.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I'll shed a different perspective on the quote. So obviously, again, we all grew up in the church, as you guys stated. We all three went to BYU, which I feel like if you tell anyone you're from Utah or living in Utah, outside of Utah, like, we've traveled a decent amount the past few months, and they'll immediately ask you, like, are you a Mormon? And that's just because there are a lot of members here. So I think it's very interesting, the idea of culture versus gospel, because I think culture gets tied into gospel, culture gets tied into gospel, and then gospel is truth. And then gospel goes back down to culture, and then culture changes, and then they try to retie that back to gospel. And so I think there's a lot of good here. We'll never be more surrounded by more like-minded thinkers than we are currently. We live on campus housing, so we are surrounded by students who are all members, who we all attend the same church on Sundays, go to the same activities. Majority of us were raised within this faith. So it is interesting, sometimes distinguishing between culture and gospel. And I want to share a story that isn't extremely applicable, but it's been very impactful for Tierra and I. We have an amazing bishop right now who we feel prioritizes all the right things about testimony and the gospel and our relationship with Jesus Christ. And so he was a bishop, and he's shared this story a couple of times, and some in intimate settings. And so, we've just been blessed to have heard this story. But and this could be somewhat controversial. So for those listening, if you guys would like to talk more about it, I'd be more than happy to. But obviously, as a bishop, he does ecclesiastical endorsements, which is a requirement for BYU for their honor code. Basically, say that you're attending a church, and if you're of this faith, that he, as a church leader, has to basically give you a check to keep going to school.
Check
at least
mark.
That's a check mark. That is my basic understanding of a ecclesiastical endorsement. But he was a bishop prior of a young single adult ward, and he would tell them that he would never not give you an ecclesiastical endorsement. And he does the same thing here, where he will never deny anyone an ecclesiastical endorsement. And the reason being is because he said, as a young single adult bishop, is he would meet too many people who would finish their schooling and then come to him and say, hey, I've been holding on to all this guilt, all these feelings of remorse, and I've honestly hated life the last few years because I didn't want to repent for these things, because I didn't want to lose a scholarship. I didn't want to get kicked out because of the honor code. And so I put off my repentance so I could finish out school. And so, once he had a couple of those experiences, he said, I will never deny an ecclesiastical endorsement, so people don't feel like they have to put their repentance on hold or their relationship with Jesus Christ on hold for a scholarship or for being able to go to school or anything like that. Which again, not all leaders treat them the same way. That's definitely a unique thing. He just had too many experiences like that, and that's how he decided to do it. And so his stake presidency caught wind of that he was doing this, where even if he didn't see people at church every single week without fail, that he would still give them their ecclesiastical endorsement. And eventually it got up to an Area 70, and an Area 7. So he got a call from his stake president saying, hey, you're going to have a meeting this next week with an Area 70, and wasn't really told much. So he's like, oh man, I think I'm in trouble. Not sure what to expect. And so he had this meeting with the 70, and the 70 started basically saying, is this what I'm hearing that you're doing? Is that true? And he said, yes, it is. That is how I am doing the ecclesiastical endorsements. And they had a little bit of a conversation. And then he said he was super surprised by this, like really took him off guard, as the Area 70 slammed his table and stood up. And which already, like, I feel like we don't always humanize church leaders, especially like the higher up they are in general authorities. Not that that's the right way to word it, but slammed the table, stood up, and he said, are you saying that we are making liars out of our students? Because some of them, again, will put off repentance until after they've finished going through school so they don't lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he said yes. And he said the Area 70 walked out, and he's never heard from them again. He's been called Bishop to our ward now, and he does it the same way and has never heard anything again.
Wow.
And so, yeah, along the lines of culture and gospel, as I feel like there's a culture of everything's black and white, everything's right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be one way or another. And I feel like
Yeah.
there's gospel where Jesus Christ is very merciful, and he emphasizes, our bishop and Jesus Christ emphasize the word strive, like as long as we're trying. That, again, doesn't mean we can't have doubts, we can't have lapses of judgment. But if we have a desire to have faith, or we do have faith and we're desiring to grow that faith, then I don't know how to wrap up that thought. But yeah, that story we've talked about that several times, and it's, we know our bishop will love us for the right reasons, and we know that certain things are more important than other things.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really good. One of the stories that I had written down that I remembered from BOU, it's kind of along the same lines in a sense, but just the whole, like, culture of gospel thought is I had a teacher, Anthony Sweat, who some of you guys might have heard him now. He's super, super solid. But he told a story about how he grew up in, I think he grew up in Utah. Anyways, he was outside with his brothers one Sunday. They were like playing basketball in the driveway, and he said one of the members of the ward like drove by and were like, "Hey, if you guys are gonna play like basketball, at least do it inside your yard so nobody can see you." And he was like, is that why we do or don't do things? Like, are we just whatever, like just doing things just for the appearance of it, or
right?
Like for ecclesiastical endorsements, like what's the root of it? Like what's kind of the core? Like what are we trying to do? Like, are we trying to build up these members to have lifetime relationships with Christ, or are we trying to and I'm not saying it's like right or wrong the way he did it, but yeah, I think that's really interesting. Just thinking about like the reason for that, but that's good. And honestly, like I had a lot of thoughts that I wrote down from this quote too. And I don't know, Grant, if you have a lot more to say on this or not, but I had kind of a couple of questions that I kind of wanted to close my thoughts out with, but you can go if you've got some more thoughts.
Yeah, I'll share one more thing, and then we can send it back to you just to close it. But something that I got hung up on reading this quote was just the idea of what is the experience like being a disciple of Jesus Christ if you don't have that certainty. And I don't think, maybe except for the prophet or the apostles, like I don't think anyone really knows.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to repeat everything that we said, but there are a few exceptions. Like anytime Elder Holland says, "I know that God lives," I'll never deny that or discredit it. But
yeah.
So I got really hung up on that notion of like, what can my experience be like if I can't absolutely know, if I can't see God and know, like have him explain all these things to me, right? And the irony of it is it made me think of my mission scripture. When I left, I chose Ether 12:4. It's a scripture in the Book of Mormon. And the reason that I chose it is completely different than the insights I'm getting from it as I read it now. But I think it does a really good job of explaining kind of like the spiritual chain of cause and effect that exists in the gospel. So I'll read it and kind of like comment on it as I go. But Ether 12:4, it says, "Wherefore, whoso believeth in God," so not who knows that God is real, "whoso believeth in God might with surety hope for a better world." So believing in God leads to a surety that you can hope for a better world. "Yea, even a place at the right hand of God, which hope cometh of faith, maketh an anchor to the souls of men, which would make them sure and steadfast, always abounding in good works, being led to glorify God." So here's how I understand like the spiritual chain of cause and effect. It begins with belief, which turns into faith, which turns into hope, which turns into surety. And having that surety gives us steadfast in our actions. So the really cool thing is like, I put this into ChatGPT once I'd kind of thought this out for myself to like make sure that I was summarizing it in a kind of coherent way. And ChatGPT read it and it was like, "Would you like to hear how this connects to Alma 32? And I'm like, "Chat, you know about Alma 32? Like, please let me hear all about it." So of course, yeah, I said yes. And then it rattled off some really interesting things that I wanted to share. And I'm going to read this because I think it's so good. So starting with belief, in Alma 32, it explains like what belief actually is. It's a willingness or it's a desire that to accept something, right? That's what a belief is. I almost like see it the same as desire, belief and desire being equal. But what I wrote down is Alma explains that belief is the willingness, openness, or desire to accept something, no matter how small those feelings are. So again, it starts with belief. The second thing is faith. But faith is always tied to action. So belief becomes faith when that belief motivates action. Then when you act on your beliefs, thus creating faith, that action creates hope. So it's really interesting to see like how it's all connected, because the words that you use, I think you might as well understand what they mean. If you believe that God is real, or you hope that God is real, you have faith, like all those things fundamentally mean something a little bit different. So that's how you go from belief to faith to hope. And then Ether 12:4 teaches us that hope can become an anchor to our souls and make us sure and steadfast. Feeling sure and steadfast can be really stabilizing to a person during times of difficulty, temptation, or uncertainty. So it's not saying that hope is the opposite of certainty here. It's saying that hope is an anchor. So I just love like how this all tied together in my brain, because it gives me a pathway, like almost a plan of action that I can follow to get from where I'm at now to feeling sure, feeling certainty, that if I were ever to change my language and say that I know this is true, like how could I say that confidently? So I really love that. That's really useful for me to kind of analyze it, think about it more intellectually. But the beautiful thing is like, what's at the very end of that? You start off with belief. That belief motivates action. That's what faith is. That turns into hope. And when you have hope, you can be sure of things. That leads you to steadfastly abounding in good works and glorifying God, which Moroni 7 calls that last step. He calls that having charity, or the pure love of Christ. So having a simple desire, no matter how small, to believe that there is a God, believe that Jesus Christ and his gospel is everything that it claims to be, that leads to the pure love of Jesus Christ. And I think that's really beautiful. I think I'm on that path every day. Some days I'm in different places, but I know that like just understanding that for me in the context of everything we've been talking about helps me not to be so hard on myself when one day I feel like I can only believe, and the next day I feel like I can actually, have faith and have hope. The last thing I'll share, this is my last thought, because I'm sorry for rambling here, but at Alma 32, it also uses the analogy of planting the seed of faith and how that can grow into a tree. A lot of times I've made the mistake of thinking that my testimony and my spiritual health is just a single tree, and rather than a garden or a grove of trees. Because really, I think like our life is a garden, and you tend to your seeds of faith that you plant, whether that faith is in your belief in God, or I have faith that I should, pay tithing, and then like I'll reap the blessings of paying tithing. At the end of our lives, I think we'll look back and we'll see a beautiful garden, not just a single tree that grew big and strong. And those trees, they produce fruit. So one of the last things that you had said, Austin, is like, the reason you stick around in the gospel is not because you have the most firm knowledge of it, but because the fruits are so good. You see that when you are living the gospel or going to church or doing whatever, it makes you happier, or it makes you better in relationships with your family, or, so many different things. So as you like plant that seed and that tree grows, you can see what kind of fruits it has. And that's how you base your beliefs off of, I think. For me, at least, and I don't know, maybe there's some wisdom in that, and maybe nothing I said made very much sense, but like this whole exercise and this quote like really strengthened my faith and my hope, and it's leading me to be more committed to getting to that surety and getting to that place where I feel like I am abounding in good works and I am glorifying God in my everyday, and it's not even a second thought. I don't feel like I'm there yet. I feel like I have been at certain times, but I'm never going to find it productive to compare myself to who I was before. It's just comparing myself to who I am now and who I want to become. And that's a journey that I take hand in hand with the Lord. So, part of the culture and part of the gospel is saying in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. But I feel like I just shared my testimony there. So back over to you, Austin.
Amen. Thanks for sharing that, Greg.
I feel like we need some like really beautiful inspirational music to be in the background for that whole quote. No, that was awesome. Yeah, I like the garden metaphor. I think that's a really good way to think about it.
Well said.
So yeah, there's a lot of seeds, a lot of trees, a lot of fruit, and you are a fruity guy, so it's perfect. Yeah, just to my kind of last thoughts, at least to wrap up what I had, goes I think pretty well hand in hand with what I wrote down a lot, but I think to kind of sum up, there's a story that she tells at the end of this book, how feels like it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're saying, where there's this kid on a mission who basically, who writes his mom and says like, oh, I feel like I'm doing all these things and I'm just like not getting these answers to my prayers. Like I just don't know what to do. And she like writes him back with basically like, I can only think of Blanchard, but like rebuking him, like
scolding.
Yeah, like scolding him.
Yeah.
And she was like, basically like, dude, like cut it out. It's ridiculous. Like stop praying with your knees and start praying with your feet. Where, I think that's how faith is grown in our life. Obviously not missionaries anymore. Thank goodness. Just kidding. I love my mission, but
miss the food.
He says he's like, it was exactly what he needed in that moment. And then he said he made a wager with himself from that moment on that he was going to live his life as if the gospel was true. In the sense that he's making this wager like, hey, I have these evidences. I'm basically going to bet. I'm going to choose that, everything I'm doing, everything I believe is correct enough, it has enough truth there to get me where ultimately I want to go. And so, I wrote down a couple questions that I thought kind of sum that up, where, and you kind of touched on it, but number one, like, does living the gospel principles or, Christ's teaching, does it make my life better? Not necessarily easier or happier, but like, does it make it better overall? And then the second question I wrote down, even if there was no God, if there's no God, like, would I still want to live this way? And then if that's the case, like, why do I want to live this way? What fruits does it bring me? How does it make my life sweeter? And if it doesn't, then, it's a question I need to have, but it does. So I'm going to, keep living that way. And then just the third that kind of, goes back to this whole like idea of a crucible of doubt and being comfortable with doubts. But I wrote, am I comfortable enough with my own faith to recognize maybe some of the shortcomings in myself, and even sometimes the church and with its teachings? And I think, recognizing I don't know everything. Sometimes church leaders don't know everything. But being comfortable enough with my faith and my faith journey in my personal relationship with Christ, that I can work through those doubts when they come and not, have it be so brittle that those cracks, ultimately cause a San Andreas level fault in my faith. Shout out to the greatest movie of all time. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting thought exercise. It's a really good book. Like I said, I'll put another plug in for it. But yeah, just especially as I continue to parent and learn how to be a parent for my own kids as they start to have more questions, just, trying to create a culture in our family of doubt. Doubts are okay. If Wesley comes up to me, he's like, "Hey Dad, I hate church." Like, I don't want to go, which he has said sometimes. Like, I want it to be more of a conversation of like, okay, like, let's talk about it. That's okay. Like, I want to hear why you hate, like, what your feelings are, as opposed to like, no, like, in this family, we go to church no matter what. Like, we got to do it, kind of a thing. But like, I think that's where kind of true growth comes in, and I'm still working on it. I hope to cultivate that in my family. So, yeah, that's kind of the last thoughts that I had. Caden, wrap us home.
Yeah, just add one quick thing. This is, I just drew it very quickly, and I don't have the greatest handwriting, but this is like a little quadrant that I love that can apply to a lot of principles. I don't know if you can see it with the background, but it's, yeah. But so it's just this little quadrant where it's true or not true on top, believe or not believe on the side, and just where they intersect. If you believe and it is true, you win everything because you would have lived a happy life. You would have set yourself up to have an eternal family, and it's summed up. You win everything. And then even if you believe and it's not true, you don't lose anything because you still, like Austin, you were just saying, like, you still would have lived by good principles. You still would have lived a good life. Still would have prioritized like familial relationships and other things that were important to you. If it's true and you don't believe, there's the risk of losing everything because you won't have all the blessings that are promised. And then if it's not true and you don't believe, you just don't win anything because you just lived a life. But I love this. And it's like, if I can just choose to believe and believe that it is true, there's the possibility that we will receive every single blessing that we've been promised, every single dream that we hope for. So yeah, we'll definitely have to give the book a read. I feel like we could spend hours talking about all this.
I like it. Yeah, no, I love that quadrant thing. That's cool. And yeah, I think I know what it is. I'll throw the quote into the case description. I'm in work mode, in the show description. And
who's the author of the book, Austin? Did you say?
What are their names? It's a couple. So it's
is it Givens? Terrell Givens?
Yeah, the Givens. Terrell, and I think her name is Fiona. Terrell, and Fiona Givens. Yeah, so it's really good. It's a pretty short one, too.
Do you guys think about Shrek? Or is that just me?
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for coming prepared to talk about it. I think that's good. It's helpful for me to think about, and hopefully whoever listens to this gets a little something out of it as well. But yeah, that's all I got this week. So
heck yeah, dude. In the words of Larry the Cucumber, there's a time to be silly and there's a time to be serious.
All right.
Role model.
Peace out.
All right. Love you guys.
Till next time.
Love it. Bye.